This story begins with a girl called Tricia. She talked about two important events that happened the same day at the same time and different parts of the world. It was Thursday, May 12th. These two events apparently do not have relation between them. They are separate events. The first one is about the murders of a man called Winston. This murder happened in Africa. The killer was a man called the Sweeper. Happened in Africa. The killer was a man called the Sweeper. Winston worked on a big international company. He used to lose his job. He was scared. The sweeper went to Winston's house and his wife understood the message. The message was that the sweeper knows where she and her children live, so she understood they were in danger. She understood his husband has going to die, but she has to stay silent to protect her children. The sweeper killed Winston. He killed him and left the body in the trees. The company asked the sweeper to kill Winston to silence him. The sweeper thought no one would find Winston's body, but the wife told to one person in the village, and this one to another one. And then a group of people found Winston's body. The company said Winston was depressed and killed himself. The other event that happened that day at the same time was about a girl called Tricia Johnson. She presented a project in geography class about how far food travels to get to the supermarket. The food that travels from far away have chemicals that make them last longer and are packed with plastic. All this make greenhouse has increased. She compared that food with carrots from the farmer market. They are organic and only travel 6 miles and is covered with paper bag. When she finished, the most good-looking boy of the class talked to her and asked her to go to his house. She was very surprised. The boy's name was Daniel Marsh.
Trisha went home and went to his father's desk while he was out, and looking into his computer. She knew that Nicholas was her father's company. From Trisha and Nicholas from Nicholas, her brother. She thought about the password and it was Peregrine. She found all the information Nicholas sobre everything was there. A mini report contained details about how to reproduce the water a scene of dirty red water were million. The plan was to boil a new tub to use the electricity to process the water from the mine and filter this water back to San Sandra River. There was a report from a specialist that said that the water could be contaminated with arsen and cyanide. He was worried the people could die. We also found a report from the swapper and her father asking him to get rid of wisdom. Trisha brought us out home and he noticed Trisha red eyes. Finally, Trisha took everything to his brother Nick. Nick said they have to stay silent about this because it would just to their father if Hanoi found out. Trisha escaped Nick to tell her that they found out all it.
Tricia's parents were at the horse race when Nick called his father and told him everything. Tricia's father's name was Martin Jackson, and her mom's name was Teresa. Nick asked and father in the order to kill that man in Africa, and he said he just paid it off. After they finished talking with Nick, Martin made a phone call and asked if the sweeper was in the town because he has a hope for him. He asked for a gas leak and the hacks to start Daniel's computer.
Next day, Trisha wanted to see and talk to Daniel, but she didn't know what to do. She felt so sad and didn't understand why this happens to them. Trisha was walking down a street when she heard an explosion. She ran to Daniel's house. She found Daniel and he told her they killed his mom. She was in the house. He was out buying some bread when he heard the explosion. His mom was in the kitchen. Trisha told Daniel to hide, so people think he was dead too. Trisha went home to get her brother's car. There, she found her father and asked him if he killed Daniel's mom. And then Trisha saw Daniel's computer on her father's desk. Trisha ran to the car, picked up Daniel, and left. She said to Daniel that she knows who has done everything her father. The sweeper began to follow Daniel. He didn't know who was the girl next to him. Martin was worried. He didn't want the sweeper to finish his job. Teresa heard Martin talking on the phone, asking for help to stop the sweeper from killing her daughter. Teresa lost impact. Martin said he will deal with the situation. He won't let anything happen to Trisha. Martin went to the police and said Daniels has abused Trisha. That maybe he was responsible for the explosion and that he belongs to some organization. Said that Trisha didn't like him. Nick went to the police after talking with his mother on the phone. The police said his story matched what Mr. March told him. So, Mr. March was alive. She was in the garden when the explosion happened.
Daniel and Tricia hear on the radio that the police was hunted and suspended terrorist who was behind the explosion and have abducted a teenager. The sweeper found them. He had a gun. The sweeper told them to drive into the canal so it looks like an accident. Tricia was so scared at the waiter was racing very fast. The sweeper left, and Daniel and Tricia tried to leave the car, but they couldn't open the doors.
A farmer saw the car and the police said helicopter. Nick felt guilty for trusting his father. The police told him he did the right thing and that the responsible was his father.
There was almost no air in the car. Tricia thought she was going to die, so she told Daniel, I love you. He told her not to speak so they can save air. Then everything went black. She didn't see the shadow or hear the helicopter landing.
The police told Martin Johnson they found his daughter alive. He cried. Police told him that the house arrested a man known as the Swapper. 7 countries are looking for him. Police say to Martin he can help with information.
Tricia had many visitors in hospital. Daniel was a national hero now. TV shows want to interview him. Tricia thinks that her relationship with Daniel is hard because it was her father who tried to kill him and his mom. Tricia's father is in a prison now. The information she has in the memory stick is vital because her father destroyed all the info in his PC. Mr. Marsh told Tricia she thinks she's a hero too. She had to make a very hard choice after all that things changed. Tricia's family lost their money. Her mom began to work as a secretary. They moved to a small loft. Her mom seemed happier now. Daniel works on a TV shows about climate change and was studying in a private school. They keep as friends. He texts me her message on the phone. He didn't forget her